Stack is likely to be, of the midfield players, the one who offers the most in the way of attacking thrust, but he is a versatile customer. With another important challenge.
It looks as if Ampadu's going to sit deepest, help out defensively, because the fullbacks push on for Leeds, so he can help out the centre half if the ball is lost. So right, maybe Tanaka and Stack can break forward ahead of Ampadu.
Yonto. Ampadu. Alcaraz can seek to get away. Looking up and seeing an awful lot of blue ahead of him, understandably.
Well, the problem was Everton have been kind of squeezed into their own half. Everybody was back defending, as you have to do at times to keep the team out. They just couldn't then get back up the pitch quickly to support him.
Usually Hall trying to get a hold of it. What he has done is secured a free kick just to...
This is a wonderful ball in from Stack. It's flat, it's pacey. Keeper struggling really to get through the crowd to get to the ball. Everton then switch off, ball comes back in. I think when it breaks, Tanaka getting to this ball, there's a lack of reaction from the Leeds players. There's only maybe one or two standing and watching. No one's really gambled and thought maybe Tanaka might be able to pick them out.
But a frenzied few seconds. Strauch, saw him threatening in that situation, you may recall last season. Some crucial goals from the dead balls against Sunderland late on, where he got a double. He also struck against Sheffield United here, games that made a huge difference in the ultimate outcome of the promotion race. He got 100 points, but for 2.5 hours of a Saturday, a month before the end of the season, promotion was actually briefly out of their hands when they needed an Oxford winner against Sheffield United to change that. Siriki Dembele provided that. And I don't know whether he enjoys, with Leeds supporters, the same status another ex-Oxford, or another Oxford player, Kevin Brock, has with the Evertonians from all those years ago. Infamous back pass in the League Cup tie at the Manor Ground.
Just to go back to Pascal Strauch, who had injury problems last season as well, so he'll be hoping for an injury-free season, and he'll really need it because there's more defensive competition, centre-half competition with the signings that they've made, so he needs to stay fit and have a strong start to the season.
Foot injury finished him before the finishing line was reached. Tanaka, he can hit him if afforded the room to do so. Here's Bogle. James, 4 in the area with James. Keane away.
That's not the position that James Garner wants to be in, isolated in his own penalty area, one-on-one with Dan James. Did well, just stood up, didn't commit himself. And the cross was a poor one.
Stack is showing for it. At one stage he was pursuing a career in tennis, Anton Stack, before finally settling on football. His father is an esteemed commentator in Germany, and tennis and football, 2 of the sports he covers, tennis the one with which he is most associated. Here's James. Lots of pace. Piroux blocked out. Yonto coming in, and O'Brien did just about enough. There is a flag up in any case.
You see the problems that Jayden Bogle causes. It's not because he goes on the overlap, he actually goes infield. He drags Alcaraz infield, that opens space up for Dan James. That's why he can deliver the cross. I think he's just ahead of that Everton defence as Piroux looks to play him in behind. He's in an offside position, but he gets forward, but it's the position, the runs that he makes, the positions he gets into that causes defences so many problems because he's not predictable. Whether it was that last forward run from Jayden Bogle, sorry, was the cause, but it seems as if again Ndiaye and Alcaraz have switched back to the positions they started the game in.
Ndiaye making a purposeful run here off the ball. Edabuna just trying to find that space in between centre-backs. Everton, I think, happy at this moment just to bring a bit of calm to proceedings. Dewsbury Hall. Got the capacity to be a real favourite with the Everton supporters. The creative department certainly needed some help, as it does tonight.
I think it's probably what we would have expected from the opening quarter of the game. Leeds dominating the ball, forcing Everton back. There hasn't been too many worries apart from that Piroux snapshot. Pickford's been relatively untroubled.
Yonto. Big ask for Goodmanson.
It's good defending from Jake O'Brien. He's a giant, O'Brien. He's a centre-half by trade, but he's been asked to play at right-back. He's done it a lot in pre-season. He's up against a really tricky customer in Willie Gnonto. So he's got the height advantage, but you've got to just get the defensive basics right. Stay on your feet, watch the ball.
Well, the former Leeds favourite, revered in these parts, with a watching brief. Applause for the substitutes' first trot of the night. Although possibly not all of them. The boos may have been for Jack Harrison. Familiar to both sets of supporters. There's O'Brien. Well, the bargain bin at the club shop is now empty. I do love the hat with the smiley badge, I have to say, which is a great feature of their away apparel last season. A lovely yellow kit. Brought back some memories.
Leeds in comfortable possession here. They just need to sharpen their play up because it's fairly passive from Everton sitting in their own half. So Leeds have to try and move that ball a bit quicker, try and move that solid defensive shape around.
Into Piroux. Here's Tanaka.
see Tanaka in possession. He's looking up and wants to play a forward ball. He's just throwing his arms and saying, no one's on the move, everyone's standing still, they're marked. There's no forward ball for me to play. So they need to sharpen up and they need to move a lot more here, Leeds.
James. Everybody pulled across, had a little bit of room to work with. And he'll float it towards Nonto with the very just of respect. It's never going to be his type of ball.
And of course, up against Jacob Brown as well, so to score-headed goal from that position, but he's kind of forced to put the ball into the box because the forward run from Bogle have been tracked by and die.
Well, the big Carbs have made it as far as the bench. Grealish. I'm sure David Moyes and Billy McKinlay have it in their minds just how much he can contribute in terms of his fitness levels, which will be a major factor.
It's going to take a bit of time, isn't it, to work his fitness up and building relationships with new teammates as well. But where he's going to play, it's going to be interesting. Normally operates on the left-hand side, but will he be playing more as a number 10 with the other personnel that Everton have? We'll have to wait and see.
He played in one of the most infamous occasions in Ellen Road's history 6 years ago when Marcelo Bielsa ensured his players gifted Aston Villa an equaliser after Leeds had scored a controversial opener while not kicking the ball out. Irabuna. Tarkovsky's still up there. He'll use the boot rather than the throw, which I think would have been tested to its very limits.
It was a poor ball into the box though from Idrissa Gueye. Everton have been under pressure, they've got the pitch, the centre-halves are up and in the box, just needed a quality cross. He just floats it into Perry's hands, really poor.
He's been in the senior Brazil squad, the goalkeeper. Gueye. Alcaraz. Bogle has to stay strong for Leeds. And the goalkeeper able to gather.
Well, the idea is right, just to get that ball out in front of you, get it out of your feet, but he's moving at pace. The ball's in and around his midriff. It's really difficult to get the ball, you know, out of your feet, but close. And the ball just gets away from him. Defender and goalkeeper close you down, but it's just too heavy a touch.
Everton's first touch inside the Leeds United penalty area. Psychic, but a noteworthy statistic. Tanaka.
It's a good piece of refereeing. There's an obvious foul in there. Tanaka is pulled back. The referee's trying to let the game flow, but Tanaka just can't stay on his feet and play the ball out wide, so you have to go back and give the free kick.
Tanaka. The direction of traffic largely to Leeds' liking. It's certainly there for a moment, but Garner able to guide it back. But the number of genuine opportunities created, probably not as we close in on the half-hour mark.
Beto's got to do a little bit more there. He's a big physical target man. Okay, he's up against a strong centre-half in Joe Rodon. The ball comes his way from Pickford, secure it. Don't try and be too clever, just get hold of the ball, get fouled maybe, get your team up to the halfway line, relieve the pressure you're under.
Rodon. Garner. Going to catch them out from the throw-in. Goodmanson, now Gnonto. Brian's given it away, the marauding stack. Tanaka will take it on.
He can test goalkeepers from a range, but that is an awfully long way out. It's wild. No real control, doesn't set himself. It's a surprise. He's normally such a reliable player.
Well, football keeps coming. West Ham Chelsea's our Friday night offering from the Premier League. Arsenal Leeds. It's a tough start for Leeds, isn't it, Saturday night? Sunday, Everton begin life at the Hill Dickinson Stadium against Brighton. At the same time, we'll bring you Crystal Palace against Nottingham Forest. Fulham against Manchester United, Super Sunday. And our Monday night action, a mouth-watering one, regardless of the subplots, Newcastle against Liverpool.
There's an opportunity there for Everton to break. It was a defensive mess initially from Leeds, but Jayden Bogle is recovering on his pace, speed, timing of the challenge, saved the day.
Peru. James just moving out to the left flank momentarily.
I do feel when we saw that Everton team sheet with the players that got missing, like Jared Branthwaite, that this was going to be a defensive performance first and foremost, solid defensively, don't get too much away, try and frustrate the home team, break forward when you can. That's exactly what we've seen so far from them in the opening half an hour or so.
Didn't quite creep out, but according to the officials, it was certainly a very close call at the least. Well, not marginal.
2 balls were out there.
There's Pascal Struijk, Ampadu, Goodmanson, James. Would have taken an awful lot to make anything of it. Got to certainly be, they hope, a big part of his game. He began as a winger and a striker at Halmstad in Sweden, the club where he made his first forays into the professional game. Groningen in the Netherlands, where he made left back his home. In the very green Euroborg Stadium. Information for David Moyes to take on board. Whack for Stack. And not the first. Struijk. Gnonto. Goodmanson. That's certainly his opinion. Ampadu. Peru. Up and about. With space to work with Goodmanson. Stack is there, James is there, and ultimately it will be a corner.
That's a great ball in, but it's difficult for Dan James. Makes a great run from outside to in. I think he just sees the ball late, comes over Stack's head, and then he's got to react quickly, try and get something on it, try and get it, and knock it goalwards. It's not easy. And it just comes off Garner in the end, does it?
Decision that may be debated. But O'Brien urgently defending it, and well, it depends what Tanaka is able to do with this, but the hot bone of contention, it might have been, maybe faded away.
For the second time, Jake O'Brien's defensive positioning there, all important. It's a great delivery from Stack. Ball gets flicked on, but Jake O'Brien's not concerned about winning the ball. That's not his job. It's where that ball ends up. Be first to it, be goal side of your man, Tanaka, and again he was.
Yonto. Taken in well by Ampadu. Itabunam able to defend it. Now Rodon. Goodmanson. Tanaka. Strout still up. Piru. Looking to combine with him. It's a challenge that's left Dewsbury Hall in considerable pain. Unorthodox from Pickford, but effective enough. And a foul by Piru in the end. And just what Everton needed, really.
That's a painful one for Dewsbury Hall, but it's just a challenge to Ethan Ampadu. The ball breaks at the end of the edge of the box. He just steps in. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Yes, it's painful. Dewsbury Hall gets caught. There's nothing wrong with that from Ampadu. Well, I just wanted to look at the game in terms of kind of who's had the ball and how effective have they been with it. It's pretty clear that Leeds dominating possession, but if you look at their expected goals, quality of chances created, that is very low for a team that have that much possession. So I think Everton are happy, okay, hardly been an attacking threat, but away from home, can you quieten down the crowd and make it difficult for Leeds to break you down, and they've done that.
One attempt on target so far from 10, which is a ratio you would hope to improve considerably on. Will hope to win this. Rodon for company. Alcaraz fighting well. A verdict that took a little while to reach, and not a favourable one for Jake O'Brien. A starting gun for Dan James, but the ball not quick in the coming.
Well, it couldn't be played because James Garner had appreciated what Dan James was looking to do, and he stepped back into a really good defensive position. So that means then that switch of play from left back to right wing can't happen.
There's someone who has not an enormous amount of experience of the position, playing it perfectly. But it's not perhaps the greatest moment for Jordan Pickford, but from Everton perspective, James Garner is such a calm head and takes everything in his stride, and has all the qualities really to fill any hole Everton would wish him to do. his younger days, one or two managers suggested he was a little quiet. I know that has changed. From those who know him considerably better than I. Here's Dewsbury Hall.
We might see this a fair bit from Everton. They're not busting a gut to try and score here, but they're just taking the sting out of the game, dominating possession, enjoying the feel of the ball, and once again, frustrating Leeds.
Here's Strauch, looking to get the urgency levels up again. Stack. O'Brien, quite run for Alcaraz. Stack, that down charge from Joel Piroe ahead of the ball, but towards James. Tussling with Garner again, who's once more up to the task.
Well, it's brilliant as the ball is played out to the right-hand side of the pitch. He's touch tight, shoulder to shoulder with James. Ball breaks, reacts quickly, gets a challenge in. He's defended against James really well in this first half.
He's played a fair bit of centre-back, he's played a little bit of left wing, so I suppose put the two together and there you are.
Yeah, but then you throw Dan James into the mix, it makes it a lot harder.
Padu hurling it considerable distance. Tanaka able to pick it up, and Gnonto now embarrassing Alcaraz, but off target in the end.
Well, he has the choice, doesn't he, whether he shoots or whether he looks to whip the ball in and pick out a teammate. Backs himself. If you shoot from there, you've got to keep it down. You've got to test the goalkeeper. His teammates will be saying, understand why he took the shot on. You've got to work the keeper.
For a player who was probably categorised last season as more amongst the supporting cast than a star, he did end the campaign strongly with 3 goals in the last 3 games. Key. Here's Garner.
I think both coaches have been relatively happy with the first half. Leeds have dominated the game without creating high-quality chances. But that's been down to Everton. They've been pretty disciplined, fairly passive. It's a classic away performance so far from Everton.
Ndiaye, a willing runner, and Rodon in charge in the air. It's Gay to pick up the bits and pieces. And now Garner. And the curtain falls. Endeavour and energy and direction of traffic very much to Daniel Farke's liking, despite not creating an abundance of terrific chances. Piroe forcing Pickford into a sharp save. David Moyes relatively content that they haven't been overly troubled. At the break at Ellen Road on opening night, it's Leeds United 0, Everton 0.
I think Leeds have been by far the better team. They've controlled the game. They've had all the shots on target. What you just hope from a Leeds perspective is they haven't thrown the best punches and that Everton come out in the second half. Obviously, they've got Dwight McNeil, they've got Grealish, so they are going to get a little bit more creative in the final third and get that smash and grab. But Leeds have just got to keep going, make sure they sort of stay on the toes, because Everton will come into the game at certain points and will get moments.
95 goals they scored last season. Leeds United, 100 points they got on the way to the Championship title as well. Have you seen a little bit of that football in the first showing in the Premier League tonight?
I think some of the football and some of the passes you play have been fantastic. I think Ampadu in midfield's he's ran the game basically. I think he's been the best player on the pitch. And it's really interesting. We interviewed, the manager Farker before the game, and he was talking about adapting to the Premier League. This has been Leeds in the Championship. They've dominated the game, they've dominated possession at home as they did to probably almost any team that came to Ellen Road last season, and that's what they've done to Everton. They've completely dominated. That was a lovely pass as you play, and probably the Everton midfield player, they're lucky to get away with the yellow card. But as I said, this man here pulling the strings in midfield again, and Everton just haven't been able to lay a glove on them really. In terms of trying to make it difficult. It's been far too easy to get to the edge of the Everton box, and Everton have great numbers in the box. But we spoke about set pieces a lot.
Anton Stack,
yes.
The 6'4" man signed to improve their set pieces, is taking them.
Yeah, he's taken them, but they've still looked dangerous on them, haven't they? Now, we know Everton have got a great record, even under the previous manager, Sean Dyche, in terms of dealing with set pieces, scoring from set pieces themselves. But Leeds have definitely caused them problems in all aspects of the game, and probably very unfortunate not to be going in to half-time in front.
What would you say, Gary, about a 6'4" giant taking the corners?
Declan Rice does it, doesn't he, for Arsenal, and when he first started taking them, it was a real surprise seeing someone of that height taking them. But if you need the best delivery, delivery is the most important.
Harry Kane, the best delivery?
He was at the time, yeah.
As he looks wistfully into the distance. No sign yet of Jack Grealish on the was just happening a few moments ago. He was warming up by himself. Now he has been sent back to the dressing room. And the other Everton subs have emerged from inside the dressing room for their own warm-up. Do we read anything into this? Is Jack Grealish getting ready for his debut?
Look, Everton have been so basic in that first half. Yeah, they've got to make changes soon.
We will see. Second half on the way.
All the games in League One, all the games in League Two. Get that red button pressed.
Sky Sports Plus.
Season stop Ampadu actually running the game.
How many times have we seen this with Everton? They're well capable. If indeed, if they make a couple of tweaks, they've got Barry potentially to come on as well, their new centre forward, of going and nicking this game.
But that's what I said, the likes of Tarkowski, Keane, Pickford, these types of players, David Moyes, they're not going to panic. You know, they're not going to panic and just think everything's wrong here. They're going to think we're in the game, we'll definitely get chances, we'll definitely get one or two moments, and we'll bring Jack Grealish on. I just wonder if they could bring Grealish on. He mentioned about bringing him on in midfield, didn't he, before the game? I wonder whether that could work for them tonight, just to try and get a bit of control in the game, because they've had nothing in there at all.
Keep an eye on whether he emerges. No news yet of any changes. If you're Leeds United, Jamie, are you thinking, given how well you played in that first half, it would be a missed opportunity if you don't win the game from here?
I think certainly with that performance, yeah, but listen, this is what it comes down to. You look at the promoted sides, and how often do we say that man who's clinical, who's cool in front of goal when that chance drops for you? And that's probably where, at times, and not just what we've seen in that first half tonight, but probably teams in these last couple of years probably just haven't had that quality that man certainly has.
That's it for Leeds. The lad Pirot, the lad Daniel James and Gnonto, they've got to go and take this chance now. They'll regret it. They'll regret it if they don't grab their Premier League careers. It's there for them. They've got all the ball, they've got all the chances. Daniel James has got to go and make himself a Premier League player. He's still a young kid. He's smiling there, but smile through scoring a goal and winning your team the game.
And we'll see. We saw Jack Grealish clutching a shirt, but not coming on just yet. We'll hand you back to Andy Hinchcliffe and Daniel Mann.
Yes, thank you, David. No changes for either side, and it's all very familiar in the Everton dugout with David Moyes and Alan Irvine there again. Alan Irvine, big Leeds fan growing up. His favourite player was Eddie Gray, which is hardly a left field view in these parts. And Eddie, I'm sure, in the stands today enjoying much of what he's seen. Well, Leeds are missing one ingredient in particular, and it's fair to say that Everton are certainly capable of producing more attacking thrust in this second half.
It's pretty clear Leeds have dominated the game, bags of possession, but they haven't created quality chances, really. They need to do more in the second half, if the second half goes the same way as the first. But for Everton, have to remember to attack. Yes, of course, they're coming here not to be beaten first and foremost, so defend well, they're doing that. At times they've got into decent positions and then kind of gone backwards rather than forwards, so whether personnel will change Everton in terms of pushing them on and creating more chances, possibly trying to score a goal, we'll wait and see.
Certainly getting to grips with Beto. Goodmanson and Strauch fulfilling that task. Touch, a sure one by Piru. Strauch looking to usher Goodmanson forward. Goodmanson unhappy about how much his shirt billowed because of the attentions of Charlie Alcaraz. Towards Dewsbury Hall, but it'll bypass him, as the game largely has. Lovely touch by Ndiaye, and now Dewsbury Hall has a chance to really influence things. Beto one way. Here's Garner.
From Everton, sharp attacking football, great layoff as you mentioned there with Ndiaye. I think that wide ball out to Beto, it sent him too wide. I think he was hoping he might be a little bit narrower, he could take a shot on first time with the ball coming across his body.
O'Brien, Alcaraz making a useful dart, hooked away by Stack. Could be useful. Gnonto has a battle to win with Tarkowski. Hit his arm, hence the shouts.
It's great cover from Tarkowski because Jake O'Brien had been attacking, he's caught high up the pitch. Just a good body position from Tarkowski because Gnonto is quicker than him. But you're not going to run through Tarkowski. See how he reacts, he moves across the pitch into that right back slot, steps across his man, strong defending. Ball bounces off his arm, maybe it's not handball, but he just realises that O'Brien is out of the game, so he just fills in really effectively.
Goodmanson. Meaty thump downfield from the Everton right back on the night. I know there is very much a feeling amongst Evertonians that that is a priority position, with Seamus Coleman not able to contribute as frequently or as gloriously perhaps as he has done throughout his Everton career. Nathan Patterson on the injured list, and Pickford nearly in big trouble.
I don't know whether the grass is longer over there. The back pass from Garner just seemed to stop.
Keane. Premier League ball will be a little more familiar to Leeds because it's much similar to the one they would have used last season in the Championship. To roll as quickly as James Garner would have liked it to moments ago. All right there though. Well, Tanaka alive to that. Now Willy Gnonto.
He reads the game so well. Al Tanaka on and off the ball, always seems to be in the right place, picks off that forward pass, and I think Dewsbury Hall does really well though, just gets his head down, sprints back, he puts Nonto under pressure. Once the ball is picked off, Nonto picks it up. I think Dewsbury Hall just makes it difficult for him, just gets close. It's not a clean strike by any means from Nonto, but excellent reading of the game from Tanaka.
Well, he arrived pretty unheralded, but he's made an indelible mark in his time, and was certainly the signing of last season.
I think there are lots of candidates for Leeds' player of the season last season, but for me, Tanaka was just outstanding alongside Ampadu. They ran games.
He came up with a few crucial goals. Dewsbury Hall, Alcaraz. Everton beginning to threaten to unlock the door.
There's a clever pass from Dewsbury Hall here, and Alcaraz, I think he tries to be a bit too clever and squeeze another pass, forward into the box. It opens up for him. Everton have hardly had a sight of the Leeds goal, so just put your laces through it, take the shot on.
Fired up and displaying the other sort there, David Moyes. Alcaraz. Ampadu will pick it up here for Leeds. Pickford saying, I'm in charge.
Well, it's been a strong start in terms of possession for Everton. Totally different from the first half. Everton getting their foot on the ball, dictating the flow of the play. OK, they're not creating great chances yet, but this is much better. The game has definitely changed since half-time.
As much a sign of Leeds' misfortunes in the 21st century as much as anything else, but the last time Everton won here in front of fans, Wayne Rooney got the winning goal in the Premier League. Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored a winning goal in the COVID quiet. A name on everybody's lips coming into tonight's proceedings, but not a name on the Leeds United team sheet, which has at least staved off the prospect of many an Evertonian's worst nightmare. Here's Alcaraz. Not so sharp. Stack. Dewsbury Hall. Shrugging off Alcaraz. It's a road to nowhere, really.
You see Tanaka there, he's trying to converge his team forward. He's playing a bit more sharply than everybody else. I think he realises that this second half very different to the first, and Everton comfortable in possession. He's just trying to quicken his team up.
Beto could have some joy here. Lucas Perry with his first major moment, really, of evasive action. Jai so fleet of foot. And Gay's shooting can pack a punch, but it has to be accurate.
He should be doing better. It all starts from a long forward ball. Everton compete for it. It breaks kindly. You see what he's trying to do here. He's trying to really whip it, pass it into the corner. Get his instep wrapped around it, but it's a bit wild in the end. But better from Everton, high up the pitch, in possession, with a sight of goal.
Well, on plenty of occasions, we've seen the Elland Road crowd play a major part in helping to change things. And they will do their bit. The players on the pitch have to do theirs, and Tanaka certainly following that lead with a progressive pass for James. Gnonto to take it in and find the wrong side of the net from a Leeds perspective.
It's a difficult chance. It's an excellent first touch, but it's beyond the near post. So to try and swivel and score from here is really difficult. He's saying it possibly comes off Tarkowski, does he? Tanaka leads less of the ball, but when he's on it, things happen. It's a score from there would have been very difficult with defensive players all around you.
Goodmanson. He's a good ball carrier. Yonto. Irabuna herring into that challenge. And it's a challenge that certainly made its mark. This is James seeking to do so in a different way. He has forced the corner. But the first yellow card of the night is administered by Chris Kavanagh for Tim Irabunam, and not in any way surprised by that.
He just gets there slightly late. It is yellow, not red. It's not engaging an opponent, it's not a high challenge, it's just slightly, ever so slightly late. You see he's genuinely trying to get to the ball. That is no defence, of course, but it is just a yellow. Irabunam just trying to break up that Leeds passing rhythm, central midfield rhythm. He just gets there late, simple as that.
Ampadu needing a prolonged spell of treatment.
Yeah, let's hope he's okay, because Ethan Ampadu has had problems with injuries before in the Championship. He's been outstanding in this game so far as well, so let's hope that this is not the end of his evening.
Well, his importance only grows with the step up in level.
Of course, the problem for Ampadu is he's in possession, he's thinking about the forward pass. He can't prepare for that challenge, he can't get out of the way as well, because it all happens so quickly, so he's concentrating on playing the pass, then gets caught. So maybe, again, that's why you pick up an injury, because you just simply can't get out of the way.
Trailing leg causing the bulk of the problem. And it would be a big problem for Daniel Farke, although it was a problem they were able to surmount in part due to the presence of one of the players who's out there today when Ethan Ampadu and Ilya Gruev, their preferred combination, were departed the scene in the autumn. Joe Rothwell, who's now gone north of the border to Rangers, and Ao Tanaka slotted in seamlessly and produced some magnificent performances. He's very happily up on his feet again.
Well, he's moving gingerly, but at least he's moving, and keep an eye on him for the next 5 minutes or so, and hope he's okay.
He'll have to take his leave as Leeds prepare, they hope, to take advantage of a set piece. Parker, perhaps now with further evidence, debating whether the colour of the card was right. Goodmanson made the initial contact, O'Brien hoping to make the next. Strauch. Yonto. Here's Bogle. James. Yonto up against Dewsbury Hall. And Ampadu back on the pitch. back into the action. Here he is. Irabunum takes over. It's going to break kindly for him. Ultimately, it'll be swept away by Rodon.
See Leeds in possession. It is noticeable. Everton, as a team, seem to have stepped up the pitch. They're not sitting in their own half, edge of their own box. To be engaging. Leeds a lot higher in this second half.
They're looking for Beto. Possibly felt that there was a handball on its route. Garner, Irabunum, Tarkovsky. O'Brien. Both Keane and Tarkovsky forward as Jack Grealish goes through his paces. And Goodmanson, who's certainly not anywhere near the tallest of Leeds' new recruits, getting his head to it. From the lofty to the gargantuan is the genuine range that we will associate with Leeds' new signings. But not Gabby Goodmanson. Tanaka guilty of a foul. And Alcaraz wanted a card, he's going to get one himself.
The players have been told about this. You can't start waggling in. Play a little give and go. Alcaraz gets the ball back. It's wrong side of him, Tanaka. It is a foul. The referee knows it's a foul. He'll make the decision of whether it's a yellow card or not. Don't tell him his job.
The imaginary card swiftly becomes a real one. I remember last year, around this time of year, an East Lancashire derby where Blackburn striker Maktar Gay was on a yellow, produced an imaginary one and got sent off. The players are well briefed about this. There is no excuse. Gruev and Aronson being prepared for an introduction. Leeds have to be prepared for the best of James Garner, and it does deflect.
I can understand these changes though from Daniel Farker, because this second half is not going the way that he, the players, the fans would have expected. Everton, they've been the more dominant side without really creating brilliant opportunities. They've looked far more dangerous than they did in the first.
Well, a measure of the level of the increase in attacking threat could be summed up by the fact that this is their first corner of the game. So it's been an incremental improvement. Plenty going on. Nonto down on the deck. Strout getting his head to it. Dewsbury Hall. Lero doesn't prove a profitable one. Garner. And Joe. Matching determination with skill, but ultimately up a cul-de-sac.
Again, you see there Everton stepping on to Leeds, engaging them, forcing the mistake, crossfield pass straight out of play.
Road less travelled in his playing career. Rouen to Marseille to Boreham Wood. Sheffield via Hyde. Marseille again. O'Brien hoping to get there and dig this out, and dig it out he does. But Lucas Perry with time to watch it into the grateful grasp. And his range of distribution will not be frightened to take a direct approach with ball at feet or in hand. Ghana. Ndiaye, Irabunam, Gay. Irabunam. Dewsbury Hall. Just pulling it for wider to offer an option as players concentrated on the other side of the field. Now O'Brien will be targeted, but not fouled.
It just forces the issue. Comfortable possession leads a pin back. Just keep the attack flowing.
Well, they were plotting a double change. It's just going to be a single for Leeds, and that's Brendan Aronson who's going to come on. And this little tweak of system that Leeds have made doesn't perhaps necessarily lend itself to Brendan Aronson operating in his best position, but he has slotted into it from the wide area. He's a very effective performer as a number 10 last season, and well, he's a very effective performer in various positions, and his time seems to have come.
It's maybe always going to come on at this stage of the game, but with Everton looking comfortable and stepping up the pitch and having more of the ball, it makes sense to get him on now.
Timmy Rabunam, who he's going to replace. Second loan spell of his career, Jack Grealish. He, in almost another life really, had a time-out from Villa at Notts County. A few more lively moments from him in this second half. Aronson, little pull on the shirt by Tarkowski. And in the end, the American upended. Alcaraz has to watch his etiquette. He's to get in trouble. Oh, Goodmanson kept that alive when O'Brien thought he'd seen it away. This is Dewsbury Hall. Lengthy soliloquy from David Moyes to the impending arrival, getting the final points on board. To remember, talking about Jack Grealish operating very much in the centre of things, as David Moyes has. He made rapid strides when Dean Smith got a hold of him and used him as a number 8 at Aston Villa. Painful coming together, which Dan James has not come off well.
Well, he was fouled, simple as that. Just moves the ball away from James Garner, who just catches him on the foot. See, he knows exactly what he's doing. That's not an accidental collision. He's taken James out. It's a free kick.
Garner a touch fortunate. It's ultimately seen as a bit of a racing incident, no blame attached.
It's going to be interesting to see where Grealish plays. He's going to drop Dewsbury Hall alongside Gay, maybe in central midfield play. Jack in behind the striker, we'll see.
A reasonably predictable reaction from the Leeds United supporters. But, can he be a man who does much to carry Everton forward? A team that ended last season in European form. He has the capacity to lift them to greater heights and in doing so start another footballing life.
It's all changed. Grealish is actually operating from the left. Diaz come out to this right-hand side, and Alcaraz is going to operate as the number 10 in behind Beto.
Alcaraz did play in there from the start in one of the pre-season games at Blackburn. James. Neatly done by Ampadu. Here's Pascal Strauch. Vim and vigour about Alcaraz there, but he's got to be judicious with his challenges.
It makes sense to bring on Jack Grealish now as well. In that first half, Everton just starved with the ball. He wouldn't have had any possession, but the second half's been very different. More the ball for David Moyes' side, so with more possession, they get Grealish on the ball and high up the pitch, edge of the box. That's where you want him.
For me, they've gambled that was Grealish. Mind you, it might be the same when one of their own, Jack Harrison, comes on. Potentially await that with interest.
He was getting grief as he was warming up, so
yeah.
God knows what's going to happen when he comes on, if he comes on.
Well, he's walking down the road travelled by Brendan Aronson last season, whose return from a loan spell was greeted with something less than rapture at the start of last season. I remember being here for their pre-season match against Valencia. But Jack has done his bit to build bridges by putting a healthy slab of cash behind the bar at a local hostelry today. Something Patrick Bamford has been noted for in his time.
Some movement on the Leeds bench, and Daniel Farke, if he wants to win this game, has to do something here, because this game is really coasting to 0-0 or a possible Everton victory, so he's got to do something, make changes, just liven his team up, get on the ball more and cause Everton more problems.
Well, in there, and you'll have to take my word for it, given the forest of legs in front of the dugout, Jack Harrison is getting himself ready. Certainly were able to spot Lucas Mecha there, who made brief acquaintance with the Premier League during his time at Manchester City. Stack, Tanaka, and the cannon kind for Tarkowski.
That's good positioning from Stack to get on the ball. He gives Strauch a forward pass, but that layoff from Tanaka was a surprise, because he really guns it at Peru. There's no way that Strauch is going to be able to control it. So there's been a lack of quality in this second half, at least lack of possession, lack of quality in possession. I think it really shows you this game, the difficulty of stepping up to the Premier League. This is a championship game. Leeds dominate the first half, they'll dominate the second as well and win the game, but the Premier League, it's not that straightforward. Teams can work their way back into it because the quality is much higher.
Well, that's the situation. In terms of attempts in the second half, Leeds had 12 in the first half, so a distinct sea change. Metcher, Gruev and Harrison are stripped and ready for Leeds, so it's going to be quite a substantial change when it comes. Dewsbury Hall hoping to offer Everton a step up in their set-piece quality this season. In the new season, some things don't change. Here is Dewsbury Hall. That's better. Alcaraz, fleet of foot, and a save for Lucas Perry de May.
It's not an easy one. He's a giant goalkeeper. The ball's right at his feet at the near post. But he expects the ball to go across his body to his right hand. It doesn't. So your positioning's got to be good. You've got to be sharp, ready to make a save. And it's a good job he was.
Grealish lurking on the edge of the area here. Gone incidentally 70 minutes between the two shots on target in this game. Previous one in the 5th minute. Oof, and over the top by O'Brien. The giant got free.
It just gets too much on it. It's a brilliant delivery, flat, pacey. You've really just got to glance this, just to help it on its way. And again, he's turned his back, so he's not facing the target. He needs to be facing the target and just glance it, brush it with your forehead. The pace will do the rest. I do think this triple change is probably what you might have expected from Daniel Clark here, with Ampadu possibly picking up an injury. That's why Gruev is on. Sharpen up your attacking lineup as well with your wide players and your centre forward.
Yes, Ampadu being wrapped in cotton wool, whilst Lucas Metcher replaces Joel Piroux. And the disapproval for the introduction of Leeds United's number 20 audible. Served the Everton cause for a couple of years, made it clear that sticking around in the Championship was not for him. And it'll take, it seems, much more than the gesture of a sizable bar tab to complete the bridge building.
Yeah, but Harrison, he's got a long season physically and mentally, because he's going to take a lot of grief. He's got a lot of making up to do with the Leeds faithful, but he's got an opportunity here if he wins the game. It's the first step in that process.
Well, certainly a major theme last season, late goals. Metcher always hoping rather than expecting to get on the end of that. Here is Grealish. Number 18 on his back. As a certain Paul Gascoigne had on his Everton debut as a substitute on this ground 25 years ago.
Yeah, no surprise, Grealish there twisting and turning in possession, taking on all comers, but he's halfway inside his own half. You need him halfway inside the Leeds half doing that.
Incidentally, Alan Smith scored a couple of goals in a 2-0 Leeds win that day. It's not been a good opening day fixture for Everton. It certainly has been for Leeds down the years. Here's Goodmanson. Aronson. Dewsbury Hall. Stack. Aronson on the stretch. Tanaka with the chance!
And it is a chance as well. Leeds have hardly had a sight of goal second half. Bounces up so invitingly, and his reaction tells you everything. He knows at the very least you hit the target here. He's not under pressure at all, really. Grealish is there or thereabouts, but he's got plenty of space. He normally has the technical ability to keep that down, and from him that's poor.
Well, he's scored with howitzers and cute little flicks, and he's also arrived with impeccable timing at set pieces. They're one that he wasn't able to get right. Tarkowski making up a large amount of ground. O'Brien. Dewsbury Hall standing and waiting, or even sprawling and waiting, looking to get on with it. Garner. He moves forward as well, the stand-in left back. Alcaraz. O'Brien. Ndiaye looking to provide a spark, and lost his footing. How much help the Leeds players gave him in that was what he was trying to debate.
Not a lot, I'd say. It happens a lot with him. He is a brilliant dribbler of the ball, but at times I think he goes to ground looking for free kicks.
Alcaraz in bother. Mecha. Tarkowski in the way. Harrison. And Stack to hit it, deflected. Tarkowski hurling himself at it and inviting loud appeals. And those appeals are heeded. Chris Kavanagh points to the penalty spot.
Of course, what we're looking at here is the position of the arm, and normally, is it in an unnatural position? Is it moving from body to the ball? It doesn't seem to do an awful lot of that, but it's just maybe, is it the way that he leans into the ball, he's looking to block it, save it in essence more than anything else. He takes a deflection. He's trying to get that arm behind his back, so in many ways that seems harsh to me, but maybe just the way that he's kind of falling into the ball. You know, blocking a goal-bound shot.
And that will certainly come into the thinking. We have our little pause here while further scrutiny is given by John Brooks, the VAR.
If his left arm is away from the body, if his left arm starts close to his body and moves out, it's absolutely a penalty. You can see here, his arm, it couldn't be anywhere else, really. He's trying to get it out of the way, but it's the way that he leans, the way that he falls into the ball. Is that what the officials will deem as handball?
Well, it is. In that aspect, at least, deemed to be an accurate decision. Chris Kavanagh taking plenty of time to ponder. And all the checks are complete, and the confirmation comes. And so does a golden Leeds United opportunity. Joel Pirou has departed the stage. Pascal Struijk also has penalty previous, but debutant Lucas Mecha has seized the ball. Jordan Pickford just checking his briefing notes. Yourself. Lucas Mecha on his Leeds United debut puts them in sight of opening day victory. Well, Pickford goes the right way, but just the power, the accuracy is the perfect penalty. In the first half, Leeds dominated, couldn't create a chance, couldn't get a goal. Second half, it's been Everton who controlled the game really. Again, maybe a bit of good fortune with the award of the penalty, but all you can do is tuck it home, and Mecha did that quite brilliantly. I think when you approach the ball like this and open your body up, I think Pickford knows that a right foot is going to go to his left. It's just whether you can get across and get a hand to it, and he can't. Here's the strike, the deflection.
And I just think it's the fact that maybe just leans into it. To me, it's harsh. And they had a good long look at it. And Everton, Tarkowski will be mightily disappointed that's been given.
Well, there were others in terms of the taking of the penalty who might have felt they should be ahead in the queue, but what an encouraging sign for everyone associated with Leeds United, the determination of Lucas Mecha to seize the moment. And Leeds United seize the lead in their efforts to wrestle the game back. Tierno Barry is going to be introduced to the action. Alcaraz departs. He's a young player of considerable presence, and he scored a very impressive number of goals in Spain last season. Well, his substitution not worked too badly. Opportunity lost for João Peru, but his teammate and competitor for an important role in the Leeds United team, making the most of it, with only, incidentally, his third touch as a Leeds United player. Tarkowski. Mecha made his presence felt in a different way there. Dewsbury Hall now for Everton. 4 times Everton have faced Leeds on opening day before tonight, and they've lost them all.
We know with Jack Grealish how many fouls he picks up in games through the course of a season. Foul there, big lads can come up from the back. Set pieces this season with Grealish winning free kicks in dangerous areas could be a good route to goal.
At the back here up against Goodmanson. Will it fall kindly for Beto? It will for Grealish. And Leeds not out of the woods yet. Ndiaye. Gaze cross. And over the top in the end by Tarkowski, who will feel luck is against it.
It's a difficult chance. He's actually ahead of the ball. He's onside as it comes his way. He's ahead of the ball, so there's no way he can head it goalwards, simple as that. His gamble, he's got into a good position, but the ball is behind him, just can't nod it goalwards. Good reactions to Everton. They must be devastated with the award of the penalty, going behind after doing so well in the second half, but a second striker on. They're going to get on the ball and get it forward.
Not afraid to use them together in this, their hour of need. Potentially, for only the 3rd time in Premier League history, 2 of the 3 promoted sides could win on the opening day. That happened 4 years ago. And back in 1997, when Everton were one of the victims to an Attilio Lombardo-inspired Crystal Palace. Well, whether they taste that winning feeling or not, there will be potentially more to do in terms of business. Awake to the possibilities, to paraphrase Daniel Farker in his press conference. Here's Harrison. Slight stumble from Tanaka, but he did really well. Harrison less so. Dewsbury Hall. Grealish. Ghana beginning to make strides outside him. Opting not to use him and trying to feed Beto. Mecha. Here's Stack. Great run by Harrison. Letcher's in there, so is Keane. Tanaka. Tanaka again. Into a minimum of 7 added minutes. Goodmanson. He's aghast. Stacks a hit. And Bogle on the follow-up.
It's a good passage of play, really sharp from Goodmanson. It's a powerful strike, but it's right at Jordan Pickford. It's a save he should make. If it's down the side of him or bounces in front of him, he's got a bigger problem. Stack does the right thing, gets out of his feet, goes for pure power. Trouble is, it's right down Pickford's throat.
He looks like he might be a hit. They were thrilled with his performance in front of that sizable Dublin crowd last week against Milan, where he got a goal that maybe owed some part to goalkeeping error. You take it all the same. Dewsbury Hall. United appetite not yet sated. They're looking really hungry. And that was kind. Aronson, Stack.
That's a really difficult chance again. You're beyond the near post, ball's in the air. And to adjust your body and just try and cushion it with your instep. They just sparked to life, Leeds, haven't they? It was a good reaction from Everton. They sent on Barry. Had that chance with Tarkowski. Then Leeds have got their foot on the ball. They forced Everton back and created a couple of good chances themselves.
Sean Longstaff. A canny bit of recruitment.
Yeah, a win here for Leeds will be a massive boost for any newly promoted side. Of course, getting off to a good start so important, but with really tough games to come. Arsenal, Newcastle, you want to get points on the board.
Letcher. Stack. Again, Harrison full of running. Goodmanson. Tanaka. He's doing his best to get his hand out of the way. Tanaka is struggling.
It's a good challenge from Idrissa Gueye. Gets off his feet to win the ball. He's desperately trying not to touch it with his arms, which he doesn't.
Well, a chorus of acclaim for a player who gives you everything in his tank. Now Tanaka feeling a bit of pain as he leaves, but that ushers in another opportunity for a new boy in Sean Longstaff.
Now let's just hope it's a touch of cramp for Tanaka, with Ampadu going off as well with a possible injury. But those two have been exceptional tonight. It's not been an easy game from half to half for Leeds and for Ampadu and Tanaka, but when they've got on the ball, they've been excellent.
Tanaka, the kind of character that every team wants. Got a job still to see this through. This is Keane. Garner. Grealish. Skills will certainly be there. What of the sharpness? Garner. Teased in there. And it's Stroud who wins that particular aerial battle.
Good defending there from Bogle and Aronson, combining 2 against 1 against Jack Grealish. You don't want to be isolated, no matter how good a fullback you are. Isolated one-on-one with Grealish, you need help from a midfielder. See Aronson again getting across to help the fullback out.
Grealish able to deliver something of genuine quality. Dewsbury Hall to head it on. Barry's flick. A touch of rough and tumble, and Rodon is fouled.
I just wonder how much contact there was on a colossus of a centre-half here in Rodon. I think Beto does catch him with an arm, but again, I think Rodon at this stage of the game makes a bit of a meal of it.
I did wince slightly when I wondered where Beto's arm was heading, to be honest. But Joe Rodon only momentarily inconvenienced. He's just literally physically manhandled Longstaff to where he wants to be. And Tarkowski together again, the two defining figures in the match, really, unless something happens in the next few seconds. Which has won that. Longstaff, Aronson, Metcher, and Dean is guilty of a foul. And Leeds United exactly where they want to be.
Yeah, it's really clever from Metche. Just runs across the centre half. Okay, he's going towards the corner flag, but he wants Keane to try and win the ball. Everton desperate to get the ball back, chasing the game. And just draws the foul and just runs the clock down. David Moyes, of course, unhappy to lose any game, but lose this game in particular. First half, Leeds were better, didn't concede. Second half, Everton much better, his team much better yet. Concede that goal in the second half. His opinion on the penalty will be very, very interesting.
Just the question now of how much more Chris Kavanagh will add at his discretion. Metcher. Seven more battles to come, but Leeds United have won the first. And Daniel Farke delighted that it was one of his substitutes that came up with a crucial moment. Ice cool from the penalty spot with only his third touch in a Leeds United shirt. Lucas Metcher, the match winner. James Tarkowski and Everton will hotly debate the merits of that penalty award, which Chris Kavanagh took time to ponder, but the scrutiny and the VAR boo fell in his favour. David Moyes with plenty to say. His team improved in the second half, having shown nothing in terms of attacking intent in the first, but managed to keep Leeds out, who did not create an abundance of chances in a dominant first half display. But the winning feeling, a special one, no matter how it comes, and that is exactly what Leeds wanted on opening day.
Yeah, hugely frustrating for David Moyes. His team definitely improved in the second half. And as you can see there, I'm sure he's saying to the referee about the award of the penalty. His team, first half, were too passive. Leeds didn't do enough to break them down, but Leeds just kept at it. They've got a break with the award of the penalty, and as you say, Metcher, ice cool from the spot, and Leeds have a dream start to life back in the Premier League.
All smiles at Elland Road. The final score, Leeds United 1, Everton 0.
It was a game in the balance for a long time, but Leeds United are up and running. Look at that smile from Lucas Metcher, and what a way to announce yourself to Leeds United fans, scoring with his third touch.
Brilliant moment for Leeds, brilliant moment for him. They deserved it all the way through the game. They were by far the better team. And yeah, I think what a great start. Think about Sunderland this weekend, think about Leeds.
They smashed it.
Both of them getting off with wins, and Daniel Farke and his team can be really happy tonight.
Great.
Only the third time, actually, Jamie, in the Premier League era that two promoted sides have won on the opening weekend. Of Leeds sent out a message here.
Yes, especially with the first half performance. I thought they were excellent there. I thought Everton in the second half came into the game, nullified Leeds a little bit. and it just felt like the game was sort of drifting really to a 0-0. So David Moyes, as you can see, is so disappointed there at the end of the game. But I said this before the weekend started, you know, besides Everton fans and besides obviously, you know, maybe West Ham fans, we need the promoted teams to get off the mark and get a win and start to build some momentum and just try and make this Premier League a lot more competitive than it's been in these last 2 years. And as you said, 2 promoted teams winning on the opening weekend is a great start to this.
But he'll be delighted. Parag Morata, we spoke to before the game, he talked about his ambition, but I thought it was interesting there, Daniel Farke. Still time for a coaching point amongst all the emotion of this occasion.
Look, I'm not sure that, to be fair, that you'd want coaching points at this point. You just won your first Premier League game on the first day of the season, but look, it's an exciting moment for them. Those Leeds fans will be absolutely bouncing tonight, and yeah, thankfully I'm not with them.
But have they, Jamie, got to use this emotion here at Ellen Road? We know it's a hothouse atmosphere.
Yeah, listen, it's a special place to play football. We talk about those clubs, and there's very few of them. One club, one city, and it is special. That support, you know, we've obviously got history playing, and you think of some of the games and the atmospheres, and that's why you think Leeds have a chance, not necessarily because of what's on the pitch. Is far better than the other 2 promoted teams, but it's a stadium and it can create an atmosphere, and certainly in that first half they put Everton under real pressure and should have gone in 1-0 in front.
I put Ellen Road definitely alongside Anfield and Ibrox, Celtic Park, with some of the great hostile grounds that were just ferocious when you went there and you knew you had to work really hard to win.
Do you not like going to them ones either?
No.
He's not going to let this drop, Gary. And he's going to take in every single second. Doesn't like anybody's left there yet, does it? It's going to be one heck of a queue getting out when they finally do decide to say goodbye.
Listen, you know what this reminds me of a little bit, and goes back a few years when Brentford came up. And when teams win a game in the Premier League now, every game feels like an event. It's, you know,
it should be, shouldn't it?
I get it. The league is so big. To play in the Premier League, to win a game in the Premier League now feels so huge for the promoted clubs. And that's what they've got to do. They've got to create something special at Ellen Road where teams do not want to go there.
You need momentum and confidence, and that will give them a lot of confidence tonight. Here we go.
So let's have a look at the Premier League table after round 1 of this brand new season. Manchester City leading the way at Sunderland were for a short time. But they're still in the Champions League places, which is good news for them. It might just be top 4 this season. We'll see how that pans out across the course of the campaign. It might just be 4 teams in the Champions League. Forest, Arsenal, Leeds, Liverpool and Spurs also getting wins on this opening weekend. Draws for Brighton and Fulham. Aston Villa 0, Newcastle 0. Let's move into the bottom half. And draws as well for Chelsea and Crystal Palace. Everton and Manchester United by the single goals. Bournemouth, Brentford beaten. Burnley and West Ham by 3, and Wolves at the bottom by 4. Disappointing night for David Moyes' Everton side, failing to score, failing to muster a shot until the second half, and conceding that late penalty.
Wow. Well done, Leeds United. You've done the job.
What's happening now? He's still going. He's still going. Brilliant, brilliant. He's got quite a lot of media duties to do before he gets himself away, and then he's got to think about Arsenal as their next game next Saturday. Brilliant. That's what it's all about.
Fans are responding. The fans have responded to Leeds United, the way they play, and the players have responded to the fans. That is brilliant to watch. What a game to watch. Fair play to Leeds. 1 city, 1 club. Three points on the board. Have a good night, guys. Good night, everyone.
Bye.